A solemn moment at Osan Air Base in South Korea this morning. Soldiers carrying boxes believed to be the remains of U.S. soldiers killed some 65 years ago during the Korean War. The return of the remains was one commitment the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un made when he met with President Trump last month in Singapore. The president spoke about the return from the White House.
Fallen heroes from America, back from the Korean War. They're coming back to the United States. These incredible American heroes will soon lay at rest on sacred American soil.
Gordon Chang is with me. He's the author of Nuclear Showdown, How North Korea Takes on the World, and a columnist with the Daily Beast. So Gordon, when I first read about this, was it wrong of me initially when I read about this and the line is believed to be the remains? This is North Korea we're talking about. What if it's something else?
Well, it certainly could be, because the North Koreans have been known to supply the remains of dogs to countries where they said that they were actually returning soldiers' remains. You know, at this particular point, until the DNA analysis is done in Hawaii, we won't know who these are. And these could be British soldiers, because remember, the British fought alongside us in the Korean War. Presumably, the North Koreans returned remains that they thought were Westerners. But, you know, until that analysis is done, we certainly don't know.
You note that it's the UN flag that's draped over the remains and not an American flag. So the DNA analysis, they say it's going to take months of detailed DNA analysis to determine how many American service members can even be identified. You were telling me in the commercial break there are 7,697 unaccounted for Americans in North Korea considered MIA, and they're thinking that they're handing over 55 of them?
Right. The North Koreans on various occasions have told American officials they have 200 sets of remains. The Pentagon estimates that there are 5,300 sets of remains, and that 7,697 number are missing. Now, we also know that of that 7,697, they say they're MIA. Many of them should be characterized as POWs, because we have incontrovertible evidence that Americans were captured. We have no indication of death. And although, of course, they're quite old, nonetheless, they should not be MIAs. And we should be talking to North Korea, talking to China and Russia about these people, because we know that they were taken to those various locations.
We also know that Secretary Mattis, when he was speaking about this, he was saying maybe we'll send American troops to North Korea to find these remains. Do you actually see that happening?
Well, it's possible. You know, we've had American personnel in North Korea. I think we stopped it 2005 because it became too dangerous. You know, the relations with North Korea became too tense. But this is a step forward, and President Trump gets credit for this because he raised this on his own. It's very important to families, but it's more important that we get an accounting of Americans who probably were POWs, or we definitely know were POWs, because these are people who might still be alive, Brooke.
And to think of the families who've been waiting for 65 years for this. Last quick question: if this is Kim, if it is, you know, these American remains, and he's making good on his promise, what does that signal to you?
Well, it's a small step forward. This is something easy for Kim to do. And, you know, we've got a long way to go, not only on the issue of remains, but also, of course, disarming the missiles, the nukes, the infrastructure, getting inspections, all the rest of it. There's a lot to go with North Korea. But at least we're making some small steps, and it's better than the possibility of not making steps at all.
Gordon Chang, thank you so much.